Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a great rack. I must have a choice of bingos here. Let me play quickly in case opponent aborts. So, what do I have? I think I have spices. Yes, I do, and I wanted to have a value for the blank which duplicated one of the tiles on my rack in order to minimise the number of floaters for opponents. Now, slightly less bingo-y rack. I have Briary as a 6. Nowhere great for that. No double through the E that I can see. I'd like to play off the B, the Y, and sort out the duplicates, which Briary achieves, but I'm not seeing anything else. I guess I could play Briary through the I of spices, getting the B tripled. And that would block the double lane, should it remain available. So, opponent does play. I was just going to go back to compare Spiri and Briary again, but opponent's play has blocked all of my candidate plays. Has not provided any new spots. So, what am I going to do? Do I have any extension to SH? No. What about PO? No. Airy would sort out the duplicates and burn off one of the big tiles. Does that play anywhere? I don't have a front hook for Hod. Po takes an A. So I have Briar in row 6. That's presenting an easy scoring spot for opponent. Wow, what a tricky start to the game. I have Abri on my rack. I wonder if Briard is good. Well, it is, and it's 20 points. But my new rack, not great. And if opponent's got an X, I could be hit with Ox, but that would be pretty brutal, since all the other 2-letter X plays don't play. So, I am now grateful for my scoring tile. But how can I sort the rest of the rack out? I've got the LY and ILY ending, but I'm not seeing a bingo. My Y can go next to the A, but I'd like to play off some of these vowels. I can play Poilu down from PO, getting rid of I, L and U, which is improving the rack, but only 14 points. Now I have airily through the R, getting the Y doubled. It does retain L and U, but I'm not going to find a move which sorts everything out. So airily through the R. Oh wow, an opponent did have the X. Fortunately, did not have an O and only 35 points. Axe takes an S in front, but I don't think that's going to be useful. Poilu remains available. Airily's been blocked. Ashley is good, but doesn't get doubled. YEA is good. Well, I'm thinking of Bailey, but that just provides so many hotspots and doesn't score well. The difficulty with this rack is that I'm really looking to play off I, U and Y. And it's very difficult to do that. I haven't seen any move which achieves that end. So, why don't I do this poilu for 14? I'm keeping 3 decent vowels and the Y for score, and I'm not giving away anything super hot. I'm sure this isn't best, but I'm going with it. Okay, so is Beamerly good? Always difficult to be sure of these ILY words. If it is, it plays above spices. But I don't feel confident about it. What about the 2-letter sets? Nothing at the top of the board and no others available. How about just the S? No, so is Beamerly good? Beamy is. Fortunately, this is Void Challenge, so I don't lose a turn if it comes off. But certainly a much nicer rack than the previous ones I've been wrestling with. And I lead. I guess that opening move bingo was helpful. Now, opponent did have the Z, so fortunately I didn't rush into a play like Bailey, which would have enabled opponent to play ZA 2 ways. Azar takes nothing in front. So let's see if Beamerly stays on. I don't think it will. And it does. Fantastic. So I now lead by 80. But a grim pick. But when you draw 7 random tiles, you'll see racks as bad as this and worse reasonably frequently. So how to sort it out? I've got up dive on my rack, which plays off 2 out of U, U and V. And opponents play 21 points. I'm not seeing anywhere for up dive, apart from the U of using the U of poilu, but that defeats the object of trying to get rid of 2 out of UUV. Zap is good, but TU isn't. Ah, well, there is a nice up dive spot here. 32 points, that's a decent score. And I've just realised my screen recording area is not showing the remaining tile pool, so apologies for that. Is this the play? Yeah, 32 points is decent. IU isn't terrible. Still a queue to come. Gosh. Well, another rack with a lot of tiles, which I'd like to sort out in one. There is a nice word with a T, but the T is in the wrong spot. Oh, wow, fantastic bingo by opponent, 78 points. So, what am I going to do? I lead, but only by 14. This isn't a dreadful rack at all. BAA only takes an L and an S. I don't have them, so I don't have a column 8 play. I don't have an H for SH. Now, do I have a 6-letter play ending in Y? I've got the IFY ending. I've got tuck in row A, which isn't terrible. I've got... Well, do I have anything in row F, getting the K on this triple letter square? It would have to be KAD, but then I don't have a tile to go above the L, and KAD isn't valid. Any S's to come? One S to come. Laterize takes a D and an S. 13 minutes on my clock. AR takes an F in front, so I could play waif. But given my lead is so slender, I'm reluctant to hand out decent scoring spots for opponents. So I was looking at a 4-letter play underneath the E of laterize, which takes an S. Keeping AIW, which isn't terrible. Can't see anything longer than tuck in row A. Well, both blanks have gone, only one S to come. Yeah, I think this is the play. 31 points. What does tuck score? 30. Yep, and I do need to split up U and W. I am going with this. And I draw the final S. Wow. That is big news. It means opponent hasn't got anything big in column 15. I could play waifs. Onto an E, I would have flatwise. No E available. Does flatwise have an anagram? I can see there's ES available. Well, yes, floor ES, but that doesn't work as a 9 because it's only got 8 letters. Yeah. So why is it failing? There's an extra S. Ah, well, opponent's slightly disrupted, or more than slightly disrupted column 15, but I think score is good. 45 points. Rack leave is balanced. But do I have anything better? What goes after KO? W does. Well, let's see what this looks like. Waif for 48 points. Setting up a bingo lane. I only lead by 9. That doesn't feel good. Score does not do that. But there is this, the waif spot is super hot. A lot of vowels go under CH. A lot of tiles go under KO. The trouble with waif is that E goes under W, and a lot of good words end in E. 11 minutes on my clock. So it would be good to get rid of F and W. Now Baal is good. So I have out for 33. That's not better than the candidate plays I've been considering. I can't see anything in column 14 going through KO. 34 tiles to come. What about a play through the R of laterize? And what about a row N play which gets the F or W on this triple letter square? Just not seeing one. It would have to have a vowel in fourth place. Gosh, if I had a P, I would have P-law. What about doing or for 38? Opponent would have to... A char does not take an E. It does take an S. I've got the last one. 6 tiles are required to reach that spot. 38 points is a lot. Tempting. But I think even more tempting is this for 48. An extra 10 points. Yeah, I'm going with this. 48 points is 2/3 of a bingo. Oh, what a pick. And the remaining pool has a lot of nice tiles in it. E's, N's, R's and T's. And I dodge most of them. So, this could be bad news. But I can sort this rack out very easily with Vig and Ugg, taking out a bingo lane in row A. 12 minutes on opponent's clock. I still think floor was the right thing to do. Oh wow, an opponent doesn't play in row O, only 17 points. But my lead is only 40, so a bingo would put opponent in the lead. I can't play in row O. I've only got one vowel. I'm looking for opportunities to block bingo lanes in row O through playing vertically through the tiles in laterize. What about doing that rig for 7? It only takes an S, and I've got one. What's opponent going to do? Yep, I'm going with this. Oh, no vowels. What rotten luck. 31 tiles in the bag. 14 vowels out of 31. It's a balanced bag. Oh well. I can play through the E of up dive, but for a lowly score. Hod takes an S, so I don't want to dispose of my S too cheaply. Opponent played 2 vowels with their 3 last turn. 11 minutes for opponent to decide what to do with rig. So I've got Verd and Vert through the E of up dive for a dismal score, keeping 4 consonants. My lead, just 47 points. Do I have any alternatives which score more? Well, I only need to look at the vowels on the board. And is there a way of playing off more than 3 of my tiles and keeping the S? Certainly that J would score handsomely in row O if only I'd drawn 1 vowel. Great, just 9 points for opponent. It's a shame I no longer have that hotspot, but opponents had to sacrifice an awful lot of points to take that out. And has been denied the opportunity to bingo. 3 I's and lots of N's to come, so row N has been set up for an ING bingo, but that's going to open row O and column 1. Okay, so I've seen Verd. What about row F through EA? I've got Jeet, but that doesn't score very much. Still 3 T's to come, and I'm keeping 2. If I play Vert, that takes a U at the end, and there's 1 to come. What about this instead? This is nice because it does take an S, so I am setting up just one more S spot. Not massively useful, but it might spook opponent a little bit. And there are no three-letter plays Y blank V, whereas there are Y blank D. Only 9 points. Yep, I'm going with this. Am I? If it's only 9 points, why not change? Why not change? If it's only 9 points. Because the rack leave after Verd is JS It's really bad. So is there any reason to hang on to the J? I don't think so. I am changing. And I'll keep RST. Well, one vowel, better than none. But not great. I guess I've got on in column 8 for 20 odd points. But keeping 5 consonants, and I've just scored 0 points to address a consonant-heavy rack. Maybe I should have chucked back the T as well, given how many were in the bag. Anyway. Wow, and apart from the fact that I've only got one vowel, this rack is bingo-y. So I have odds, ODS, in column 8. That's quite nice. It does burn the S, but the whole point of the S is to get value. And it would score me 9 points, plus it would remove a consonant from my rack. 28 tiles in the bag. 11 vowels. Node takes an A in front, but AES words, not very common, so I don't think there'll be any 9s in column 9. I have an N for an ING play, still 3 I's to come, and ODS in column 8 preserves that N. I think chucking the J back was a good thing. If opponent picks it, well, they're very unlikely to be bingoing with it. Now, is there any bingo with my rack plus an E? More dents. Nope, that doesn't play. What about a U? No. Wow, opponent is close to a bingo. But if I play odds for 37, they're not bingoing or very unlikely to bingo in row A. And row N bingo will give me scoring opportunities, and 37 points is decent. Well, I'm just thinking about playing Onst instead. 39 points, just because it turns over one more tile and increases my chances of drawing a vowel. It does burn the N, but I think that spot may well go. I don't think it's worth hanging on to the N in the hope that I would bingo. If I did, that would open up a 9-timer opportunity. I am going with Onst. Okay, so I do have a balanced rack. Not seeing a 9 with TO. My lead, just 70 points, which is about what opponent would get with a bingo. What did opponent do last turn? Neff, just one tile. So I am expecting a bingo. Onst has taken out row A plus the floating U of up dive, so I do like that play. Wow, look at, well, you can't because I'm not showing it at the bottom of the screen, but there are a lot of non-bingo-y tiles to come. There is J, Q, V, W, and Y. And opponents played just one tile. Interesting. I wonder if they are tempting me to leave row N alone. Well, I think it's worked because I've got Mewid for 33. Still a Q to come, but I'm setting up a spot for the Q next to the I, and there's a floating U for the Q. Yeah, and 33 points is half a bingo, and I can't really do very much about row N without sacrificing a lot of points. I could play Mewid in column 3, which would take out all bingo lanes. Only 18 points, so I'd be sacrificing 15 points. I currently lead by 66. I'm going to lead by 99. I think I can win even if opponent bingos. I'm going with Mewid. And if I didn't take that spot, opponent would have the opportunity of scoring heavily in column 15 themselves with a non-bingo to stay within bingo's range. So I do like that play. I have drawn the Q. I've got Trank on my rack. Not seeing anywhere for it. Great opponent, well, not so great the score, but it's good that opponent hasn't bingoed yet. So, what can I do? It would be nice to play down from the J. 3 minutes on my clock and still 9 tiles to come. But I'd like to reach this double word square. I'm playing here. I'm short on time. This takes out the bingo lane and offers nothing. I am going with this. So I have Tordion, nowhere for it at the moment. 5 tiles in the bag. And VW and Y in the unseen pool. Opponent has surely got a 5-letter J play. I lead by 82. Yeah, I think opponent is stuffed. Unless they've got a 9-letter play through TO or through TU, beginning underneath T, and that's, I think, extremely unlikely given all the S's and blanks have gone. I'm not sure if there are any or many 6-letter plays ending in Q. Remaining pool is EILNORTTTVWY. So only 2 minutes on my clock. I have joints in column 2. I think that's the only play which hits the double word square, certainly the only one I've seen. Opponent could play Jotty in that spot. It's not over yet. Opponent could put together back-to-back 40-point plays. I've got no scoring tiles on my rack. Limited opportunities for scoring on the board. Cow takes nothing after it. All I've got is this J spot. And opponent does play there. No tiles left. Opponent has got ILNTVWY. So just one vowel and a Y. Two minutes on my clock. So I have trod for 21 points. Do I have 2 outs? I do. I have iron in column 13. I have in row in column 3. So I think this gets the job done. Trod for 21. So where's the best spot for my outs? In row 11, iron 10. Can I do better? Just looking at possible across plays. not seeing anything. What about the downs? No, so it's just those two options. Churion, the U would need to be next to the T. I couldn't see any column 1 plays. I had an O for going next to the R, but consonant was not propitious. And I don't think it would have scored much more than 21 anyway, and possibly less. So opponent with ILNTVWY. I don't think they can be facing a lot of options. Well, what an interesting game, just looking at Trank and Rig. Both moves where I think there were alternatives available, but I don't currently regret either. 3 minutes on opponent's clock. R can go in front of OM. Nothing that I've got goes in front of NA. Oom is good. Just looking to see if I've got an out through the P, and I don't think I do. I don't have any letters to hook node at the back or the front. Do I have anything through XI? No, I don't, and I haven't seen anything through EA either. 2 minutes on opponent's clock. Jai takes nothing in front. Well, I still haven't played any of the new words in these games that I'm recording, and neither has opponent. Such a shame, because the update was so large and the words are so funky and fantastic. I was really looking forward to playing and seeing them. They occasionally pop up as candidate plays at the end, but I don't think any has actually appeared on the board. So opponent takes my in-row spot. Have they provided anything better? Do I have a 5 with V in third place? In VAR is good, but that would need an A. No, not seeing anything, so nothing new there. So I have Noir here for 10. And the final score, 353 for opponent, 426 for me, a winning margin of 73 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a super game. Lots of tricky decisions. And it was a win. So this is how it began, which is pretty fantastic. I played spices and a ton of other options. And a great rack for opponent, but no bingo. Othered. I'm not sure if that's new or not, having just mentioned the new words that are coming in. I think othering is new, so possibly othered is as well. But anyway, opponent plays Hod. And now I play Briared for 20. Briar, I considered that in row G, but I didn't want to give opponents an easy scoring spot in column 1. D5, I didn't consider Braid, keeping double I. Maybe I should have done, because although double I is bad, so is retaining the Y. But I don't think a huge amount between those plays. Oh wow, and missed bingo, XR8, G9 and ES. Difficult one to see. Opponent plays Axe. Now, I play Poilu for 14. Yeah, trying to leave a decent rack leave. So Poilu leaves A, E, I, Y, which is better than any of these rack leaves. J2, Y, J2. Oh yeah, Poilu wouldn't have been there. Yeah, score's quite nice, but rack leave pretty grim. Now, opponent's rack. No bingo, plays Tsar. And here it is, Beamy. I wasn't sure of it, because Beamy is good, and it's difficult to be sure of ILY words anyway. But it was good, and that gave me a bingo's lead. Opponent struggling with vowels, plays T. And now I have up dive to sort the rack out. So pretty much a 100-point lead. But opponent bingos with laterize, and my lead shrinks to 14. Weifu, that's a new word. I13 and EW. Wow, that would have been nice. And C and K have synergy. What do I do? Okay, so I get 31 points. Yeah, I think Weifu was the pick of the bunch. Although at this point there is still an S unseen. Yeah, and the rack leave after Dak is horrible. So it's just Weifu, I think, which is better than my play. Opponent's rack plays Hock. And floor for 48, that was my play. Opponent not able to bingo. Plays Node. And this is the spot where I play Rig to set up my S, so I am making a massive score sacrifice, but I'm setting up a huge S spot which only I can benefit from, and I'm taking out a bingo lane with opponents signalling with their node play that they may be close to a bingo, so I still like my play. J12 div and up dived, 29 points. Yeah, I think that's a decent play and a decent alternative, but I still like my play for the reasons stated. So opponent is close to a bingo, doesn't have one, and gets a miserly 9 points, taking out my obvious S setup. And here we go, no vowels at all. Horrible rack leaves, but D3, Jars and Zars burning the S but getting 23 points, keeping DR double TV. Well, I think retaining SR or SRT is similar or better, and certainly will have a better rack leave. Wow, look at this rack. An opponent must have been so close to an ING bingo with retain on their rack, doesn't have one, plays off just one tile. I play Onst for the score and to take out 2 bingo lanes. Opponent's rack, still no bingo with this ING lane begging to have one played in it. But opponent doesn't have it. They have one of the best racks in Scrabble, or the best 6-letter stem, retain, but no playable bingo. And they play off just one tile, the E, which was a nice play. It does tempt me into column 15, where I do play Muid. Interesting. It may have been worth keeping the U, both because of the slight vowel shortage and also with the U unplayed, but Muid was my play. And opponent played off the E and drew the J that I'd thrown back. Fantastic. So still no bingo. They play off just the J. And now I drop the hammer. Trank takes out that solitary bingo lane, and opponent had Ottering ready to go down. Fantastic. So Trank did the business. I lead by a bingo, and opponent has no playable bingo. So their race is run. They play Jotter. J9, Tondini and up died for 32 points. Wow. Okay, so I played Trod. Opponent plays Viney, And finally, Iron, Noir and Royne, all in the same spot for the same score. So what an interesting game. So many challenging racks, but this is the beauty of Scrabble. Every game is absolutely different from any other game of Scrabble, almost from the opening rack onwards. So you're just guaranteed a whole series of completely fresh challenges that you simply have to address with your word knowledge and your strategic knowledge of Scrabble, born from the experiences that you've had. And certainly this game presented a number of very challenging moves, and I'm thinking of the trank play, the rig play, and the play in which I changed. It all worked out reasonably well for me in this game, but that doesn't mean, of course, that those moves were the best, but it does show that the merits that they did have were valid in this game, or operated in this game. So many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching this game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.